Okay, hi everyone. This is Yosuke Hasegawa from Institute of Industrial Science, the University of Tokyo. Today, I invite the 3 lab members, 1 postdoc and 2 PhD students. And we are going to talk about some general stuff studying in Japan, Tokyo, and in University of Tokyo, and also atmosphere in our lab. So maybe all of you quickly introduce yourself. So Arjun, can you make a brief introduction yourself?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Arjun John. I'm coming from the South Indian state of India, South Indian state of Kerala, sorry. I did my bachelor's and master's from India, and then eventually applied for a PhD position at the Hasegawa lab and joined the lab in the year 2016.
Thanks. And maybe next is Zuchen.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Zhuchen Liu from China, and I joined this lab since 2016 and from my master course. And now I'm the second year of my PhD candidate. So nice to see you all. Thanks.
Thanks, Zuchen. And please look at the camera, please, okay?
Okay.
But that's difficult, right? Because the camera is a little bit at top of our screen. So sometimes we are looking down.
Yes.
All right. And then Dominic, please.
Yes, my name is Dominic Hensel. I'm from Germany. I spent my bachelor and master's in Germany and then joined, I think in 2019, the University of Tokyo for my PhD studies.
Thank you. So very different, countries. I'm from Japan, Arjun from India, Zuchen from China, and Dominic from Germany. It's a very nice thing that in general university, we have a lot of foreign members. So first, I would like to quickly ask you that why you decided to come to Japan, what brought you to Japan? And Arjun, you came first, right? So
Yeah.
can you remember what was at that time why you decided to come to Japan?
Yeah, this is a question I often get. So I had a couple of reasons. The first and the foremost was I had heard a lot about Japan and its culture from my sisters who had studied here. So I was quite fascinated and intrigued. And so during my master's first year program, I started searching for potential labs where I can apply for PhD position. And eventually I got a positive reply from Professor Hasegawa. That was the first reason, just to let understand the Japanese culture and custom. And as a kid, I had read Toto-chan, a book written by Tetsuko Kurioyanagi. That book was quite fascinating, and in a way, coming to Japan and studying here was a childhood dream become true.
Yeah, sometimes it's nice that if your family members visit that country, it's more easier to go there, kind of.
Yeah.
And
And
also,
Japan has this aura that a lot of different from other Asian cultures. So I was quite intrigued, and I was seeing the NHK video series called Japanology Plus by Peter Barakan. So yeah, I was quite interested to know about in detail about this culture.
I see. Okay, then what about Zuchen?
Yeah. Personally, I like Japanese animation and games since I was a child.
That's
And
another big culture of Japan, yeah.
yes, and actually, all of them gave me a good impression of Japan, so that I'd like to see the real environment here.
How was the real one?
Yeah, it's actually I would say it's quite different from the what happened in animation and games, but it's still interesting for me. And for the reason why I come to this lab, actually, I like physics, and actually, after I take some lectures in undergraduate school, and I find it's very interesting to study turbulent flow. so that I just searched laboratories working on turbulent flow and in Japanese university, and finally I found Hasegawa Lab, and fortunately I become a member of it.
Yeah, I still clearly remember that when you first contact me, and you are very much interested in turbulence and physics.
Yes.
And we had a first interview, and still I still remember that you have very strong background in physics, and I feel that very strong motivation more than Japanese anime at that
Yes.
time. I don't know what the truth, but yeah. All right, thanks. And Dominic?
So I was interested in Japan also for a longer time. Like one of my high school friends actually went to Japan for 1 year at the time, and I heard a lot of stories and was interested. And then, like when I started my master's in Germany, I started learning Japanese. And then I talked to my German professor about maybe doing a semester abroad, preferable in Japan. And then he is a collaborator of Professor Hasegawa, and then he recommended me to go to Tokyo if possible. And so, yeah, we exchanged some emails, and at that time I could do an exchange semester at the University of Tokyo. And then I enjoyed it so much that I wanted to come back for my PhD. So, yeah, I then applied for a scholarship and was lucky to get it. And then I joined for PhD studies.
Yeah, actually, your former boss in Germany is also my boss because he was a boss when I was doing postdoc there. So it's nice that some sort of a network like this. And also, it's nice that you spend a half a year maybe for doing
Yes.
your master thesis, so that it's rather more easy to go to PhD here.
Yes, definitely.
All right, thank you very much. And then maybe we could next talk about the Tokyo life in general, how you enjoy Tokyo. I don't know whether you completely enjoy Tokyo life or not. Maybe you may miss your own country. But in general, maybe we could start at how much money typically we need for living in Tokyo. Or it's expensive or cheap. Is there anyone? Does anyone have any opinion?
I will
Yeah,
go first.
yeah,
From an Indian student perspective, I would definitely say that Tokyo is quite expensive. So the first thing I did after receiving a positive reply from Hasegawa Sensei is that to check for a scholarship or the funding possibilities for international students to study in Japan. And almost all the scholarship will provide a monthly stipend of 1.5 lakh Japanese yen. And that is sufficient to survive here in Japan. And the most possible one is the Japanese government scholarship, also known as the MEC scholarship. So I applied for the scholarship via the Japanese embassy in India and got selected. That's how I was able to fund my PhD program here in Japan. And among other things, there is one ADB Japan Fellowship. And there are like for Indian students special program between IITs and University of Tokyo. So if you're interested, you can check at the University of Tokyo website about these scholarship programs in detail.
thank you. As for the such a MEC scholarship or government scholarship, Dominic is also receiving that scholarship, right?
Yes.
Do you have any comment on the scholarship? I think in general, those government scholarship is more convenient. I mean, probably more you have more advantage for finding not only money but also finding accommodations or support from university, Japanese class, and so forth. Do you have any comments on this?
Yeah, I think overall it is probably one of the most convenient scholarships because it also covers university fees. I feel like the support is very good. So, like if you're able to apply and receive the scholarship, I think this is one of the like best and easiest way to come to Tokyo to study, I think. So yeah, overall, I would recommend to apply for it if there's a chance.
Yeah, so for those information, I think we need to everyone contact the Japanese embassy in each country, probably, right? For detailed information, because the situation could be different in different countries.
Yes, usually the selection process is being done by each country, and then afterwards you can go to Japan. Yeah.
Okay. And in the case of the Zuchen, you are partially supported by university, and also our lab also support you.
Yes.
In general, all the PhD student has I think enough support to survive in Tokyo. But Zuchen, do you have any comments about the life in Tokyo and also financial?
Actually, since I got my master's degree in this Hasegawa Lab, so somehow I can't apply some scholarship for foreign students. But there are still some other kinds of scholarship for PhD students. Like in my case, I got some scholarship named ACUTRA from our institute, and that is not enough. But I'm also supported by our lab, so that those are enough for me to cover the daily cost. And actually, comparing to living in China, the cost in Tokyo is very high. So that's especially the food and the rent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, but from those support from the institute and our lab, it's enough, I think.
Okay. So anyway, all of you are somehow survive in Tokyo. That's good. And how is the life in general? Convenience or I mean, entertainment, whatever. Are you happy with the Tokyo life in general? Do you have any opinion on this?
Yes, I guess in general, especially if you come from a smaller city in your own country, it is really exciting to live in a big city like Tokyo. There are a lot of different places to go and really a lot of famous tourist spots as well. So especially the first few months will be very exciting, I would say, to just discover Tokyo itself. And there are also other interesting cities or places that are close to Tokyo to visit. So I think that is really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I also think so because I also lived in Darmstadt for 2 years. That's very nice and surrounded by somehow greens, but it takes some time to go to, for example, Frankfurt or big city. Otherwise, there's not so many things there. In the case
true.
of Japan, you can move everywhere by subway or transport. I mean, train system is very well developed. It's a big city, yes. And how about Arjun Zuchen? Do you have any?
The cultural shock was quite huge for me coming from India, and I think it's completely natural, and it will take for anyone to get used to this, get back to this normalcy. And the most noticeable thing is that everyone in Japan is quite polite, and the convenience stores are open for 24/7. These are the things that was quite new to me. And as you were saying, like the metro is very convenient, and you can travel in and around Tokyo like quite conveniently. And one thing I would always tell my friends is that Japanese people are not that very comfortable with speaking in English. So anyone who is coming to Japan should have take a Japanese language classes so that have a basic conversational skills, which I haven't done, and I'm regretting that. So
Yeah.
that's my suggestion.
Yeah, it's better that if you can speak Japanese. And actually, Dominican Zuchen, they can speak Japanese very well.
Yeah.
But Arjun's case, you can still, you don't have so much big problem, right,
Yeah.
with us Japanese. So, yeah, of course, if you learn Japanese, maybe you can enjoy more. Yeah.
Mhm.
And Zuchen, do you have any opinion about Tokyo?
Yes, actually, Tokyo is a very large international city. So and not only the Japanese type of things, there are lots of things from different countries. Like you can find restaurants or stores from very different countries. So that means that in Tokyo you can go travel to anywhere of the world. And besides living here, it's very convenient. For example, the convenience store is densely distributed in the city, and it's open 24 hours. So you can buy any essential things anytime you like. But one inconvenience thing is that the online services are not so well developed. For example, some applications, we have to send the forms through real postal service instead of just fill them online. And also for the somehow like delivery things somehow slower than in China. For example, even that's from Tokyo, it always takes 2 or 3 days to reach your place. So yeah, that's my idea.
Okay, so mail system is not so efficient, you think?
Yes.
And also online system, yeah, maybe we are a bit, yeah, not so much advanced. I don't know how the situation in foreign countries. All right, and then maybe we switch to our university or our institute, because all of you coming from different university from foreign countries. So how do you think about University of Tokyo? And especially we are in Institute of Industrial Science in my background. So this institute is somehow that it's attached to our university, and then more than 100 professors coming from different departments in the field of engineering. It's kind of a one small, some technical, like a technical university, and we are collaborating a lot in this small building. But what do you have any difference between your previous university and University of Tokyo and also our institute?
I think Jujun can go first.
Okay, Zuchen, yeah.
Yeah, actually, comparing to my previous university and even the Hongo campus of the University of Tokyo, I think the Kumaba second campus is very quiet.
Quiet.
Yes, and with very less people. So I think for me it's very good. It's very, for me, it's relaxed and.
You don't want to meet people, huh?
I don't want to meet people too much people.
Okay. Yeah, that's important if you really want to concentrate research. And I want you to concentrate on research. So yeah, that's good.
And also the environment is quite good. So Arjun and I always go for a walk after maybe lunch, or sometimes inside our institute, and the environment is quite good to relax. So yeah, I think it's quite different from other universities.
Yeah, actually, this area is a high residential area. So at least you need $2 or $3 million to buy your own house. So it's a nice area, actually. And also close to Shibuya. So we can easily go to, big city. Then who is next?
Yeah, I just want to point out that Jujun is coming from Harbin Institute of Technology, right?
Yeah, yes.
And yeah, so I will say that, I did my master's program from IIT Guwahati. So considering the fact that University of Tokyo is ranked consistently among the top universities in the world, and its alumnus includes Nobel laureates and Fields Medal winners. So it was a bit surprising for me to know that the number of courses offered in English is a bit limited. But here in University of Tokyo, the PhD program or even the master's program, as far as I am informed, they focus on mainly on research, and you are supposed to mainly concentrate on your research rather than on the coursework, which is not the case actually back in India. Is at least the master's program is quite coursework oriented programs. We do research in the last 1 year, That's one difference that I have noticed. And I've seen that for the last couple of years, I have been here, University of Tokyo has drastically increased the number of international students. And also there is this one tailored program for undergraduate students. The course name is Programs in English at Komaba, which is now is commonly known as SPEAK program. That specifically all the programs are conducted in English. So yeah, I think University of Tokyo is nowadays opening is coursework and structures so that more international students can come and join the university.
All right, thanks. And how about Dominic?
So like similar to Arjun's case, also in Germany, the master's program is more focused on coursework, and only the last half year usually is spent then intensively on research. So that's a big difference to Japan, where you basically from the start of your master degree, you start already researching over the next 2 years. So I guess that's one difference. Another difference is for the PhD, usually in Germany, you also do some kind of teaching on the side. Like either you become a course, like
teaching assistant.
Teaching assistant, or you organize some small courses or similar things. So I think that's a big difference, because here it's really, really focused on mainly research, which has its like plus side and downside, I would say. But yeah, as for the coursework, I feel like in Germany, it's sometimes really hard to just pass some courses because the tests tend to be more difficult, I would say. So, I mean, the contents are really similar, I feel, from the quality, but usually the tests at the end are a bit more difficult. Yeah, that's one point.
So our university exam is not that difficult.
Yes.
Okay, I will tell all the professors in our department then. But yeah, all right, thank you very much. And yeah, now we also try to increase the English lectures. So hopefully we will have more in the coming years. Okay, so then next that we would like to talk about our laboratory, how our lab look like. So Arjun, you spent almost 4 years, maybe?
Almost 5 years now.
Almost 5 years. So you have seen a lot of lab members and you kind of expert in our laboratory. So do you have any comment about our lab?
I just want to again point it out that our lab is affiliated to Institute of Industrial Science, and it is situated in the Komaba Research Campus, which is one among the 5 campuses of the University of Tokyo. And considering our lab is quite international, the researchers or the lab students are coming from all around the world. So almost all the communications, the lab seminars and presentations are completely done in English, which is not the norm in Japan. So that's one interesting aspect about the lab. And you also get to meet different researchers, because the lab will be hosting from time to time, visiting faculties and visiting researchers from different universities and different labs inside Japan itself. So you will get to know them and their area of specialization, and you will have opportunities to have face-to-face discussions with them. That's one interesting thing that I found about the lab.
Thank you. Unfortunately, recently we have a COVID-19 problem, so we cannot, directly talk with other people, but maybe we can restart those things after things are settled down. So Zuchen, how do you think about the lab?
Yes, I think our lab has a very pleasant atmosphere, so everyone is quite kind. And somehow for our research, I think it's a little bit different to other labs, because our research interests have a very wide range. So like start from bio or to even heat exchanger, machine learning, a lot of things. And actually for us to learn all of those things, it a little bit difficult, but we have several group meetings focused on different topics, and so that we can learn each topics very detailed way. And besides, we also have some meetings to know to gather all the members to know what the research activities for each person, so that we can have a much more clear understanding of their research. So that I think is a quite good opportunities to broaden our view instead of just doing our own research. But so that wide field is quite good for the future research activities, I think. But the disadvantages is that such meetings takes maybe too much time, and maybe sometimes when we have some deadline for paper or something, it's quite dense, I think. Yeah, that's my consideration.
All right, thanks. So now I think in our lab, Chinese students are increasing. Eh?
Yes.
So
yes.
maybe near future, our official language may change to Chinese.
No.
So all of us have to learn Chinese some point. And I think eventually it will be nice that other members are doing different things, because you can learn from them, and it will eventually broaden your perspective.
Yes.
Yeah, so at the beginning, it's difficult to, find that what they are doing, and maybe difficult to understand other members' topic. But eventually, you can broaden your idea and the perspective. That's probably most important thing in university.
Yes.
All right. How about Dominic? About your impression about our lab?
Yes, so in my case, I first joined as an exchange student, and then later came back. So of course, I must have liked something about the lab to wanting to come back. So in my case, it's like Arjun said, like one thing is that I like is definitely that our main language is English for most of the research and the meetings, because then like really everyone can understand usually all of the different presentations, and even if you don't speak like Japanese, you can still get a lot of knowledge. And second of all, I find it rather easily to talk to other members. Like everyone's really open, and usually if you have a question, you can quickly organize a meeting, and they will teach you things you don't understand, and I think that's really nice. And another thing which is nice, we get a lot of feedback from our professor usually. So if we are stuck with our research or we don't know exactly what to do, usually we get a lot of guidance, which I really like. And I think that can be really different at other labs, as I've heard from friends. So yeah, those are the things I like. About the bad aspects is maybe like Suchen said, like sometimes the workload can be a bit dense when we have like different like meetings that we have to prepare at the same time as we have to do our own research. So sometimes that can be a bit troublesome, but overall, I enjoy the atmosphere in our lab.
All right, thanks. Nice to hear that all of you spend a busy life. Good. And enjoyable life. So maybe finally, I like to have some your general comment for those who are considering to coming to Japan, Tokyo, possibly coming to our lab for studying. So anything?
Yeah, I will say that as Dominic was doing, if you are interested to come to Japan, then I would recommend you to first apply as a research student, and then you will be able to get a first-hand impression about the lab and about Japan in general. And if you are really passionate about research and about the Japanese language and culture, you should definitely consider joining our lab. And one important thing, we all missed is that, the one in every year we will be going for summer camps. Those summer camps and lab parties are the things that I'm going to miss when I go back to India.
Oh, summer camp. You enjoyed the summer camp?
That's a highlight of a year, like, the summer games.
Okay, but it seems that some members don't like it, so I don't know
Uh,
whether we should continue or not. But I want to continue. Yes. Okay. Any other opinion in
Actually, generally, I would like to say that it's a good opportunity to join not only our lab, but to visit Tokyo and do some research here. If you are interested in exchange your culture with different with other, not only Japanese culture, but other cultures from other countries, and to communicate with people from all over the world, I think it's a good opportunity. Yeah.
Thanks. And finally, maybe Dominic.
Yes, so yeah, I feel the same way. If you're interested in Japan, I think this really nice opportunity. You can meet people from all over the world, and also, I mean, especially if you're interested in Japanese culture, you have a lot of opportunities here to experience like food or more traditional things as well. So I think it's a really nice opportunity. And also Japan is one of the best country to like travel in, because there are many like nice nature spots or also really nice traditional towns to visit. So I think that's also a very nice aspect. So yeah, I would say just try to apply for different scholarships or ask your university or professors if there's any opportunity to go, and then yeah, I think that's
All
good.
right. Thank you very much. And thank you for joining today, three of you. And I hope that this movie will give some idea for future visitors to Japan and our laboratory. All right. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.